Oh, I guess you...
Yeah. What's up, guys?
What's up?
How's it going? Give us 1 second. We're just gonna share it real quick.
Yes, we are doing that. Guess it doesn't say if you like.
Oh, here it is. All right. Good morning. All right, guys. Well, welcome. This is the first Make Your Mark live part of the series. It's our first show. Yeah. Well, besides for intro 2 weeks ago, this is the first one. We're super excited to be here. We want you to let us know you're here. Please comment. We're going to be doing a Q&A afterwards, so make sure you please ask some questions. We'll go ahead and get those all in, and then we'll start answering them at the end of the show. My name is Michael McAleenan, founder of Marca Made.
I'm Koji Sumalde with Optimal Cinema, and we got one. Hey, Nicole.
Nicole, what's up, girl?
So yeah, as you know, 2 weeks ago we put a live drawing up, and we picked our first guest, Mark Lombardi, who graciously gave us his time to be on the show today, and we're pretty excited for that. So
yeah, I mean, we named the show Make Your Mark, and it's kind of ironic that our first guest name is Mark, so we're going to go ahead and bring him on now. Welcome, Mark.
Come on in. Here's the hot seat. Welcome, man.
How you doing?
Good to see you.
Good to see you. Good to see you. Gentlemen,
yeah.
Great to see you.
Thanks for coming.
Hey, everybody.
So, I wanted to kind of start off today just by learning a little bit about you and what you're doing right now, and yeah, just give us the scoop.
Okay, cool. So when I start saying anything about myself, I'm one of 8. So I have 7 brothers and sisters. That has a lot to do with how I've formed as a person. I love to cook. I love to kite surf, dance, play music, and I am a co-founder of Shoot to Thrill Media, which is a web development company that prioritizes web development for startups, small businesses, and serves as an on-call web team for growing teams in the startup tech arena. So that's a ton of fun. Matt Foreman is my partner. I love you, Matt. You are absolutely my better half. Thank you for doing everything you do. And yeah, so that's pretty much the most of it. I mean, I can get into some deeper stuff, though.
Yeah, we'll get there.
We don't want to end the show too early.
Yeah. That's awesome, though. Yeah. So to give us a little background, we all kind of like met in the glorious station house. Yep. Passing by every day, kind of all trying to grind here and there, and we've all seen where you've come from the start, and when Shoot to Thrill started, we're all pretty stoked for you.
Thank you.
And recently, one big accomplishment I think you had was hosting Tampa Bay Startup Week.
Yeah.
How awesome was that? Give us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so Tampa Bay Startup Week is a wonderful event that happens once a year dedicated to entrepreneurship and facilitating innovation throughout the Tampa Bay area, hosted by Techstars as a parent company. And so the organization Tampa Bay Startup Week is wonderful. Had the opportunity to MC that and really just interact with the community in a positive way, and kind of just be the person to facilitate all the different events going on. That was wonderful. I mean, we saw some really great growth and some really cool introductions to people who are now power players in the Tampa Bay community just from that event. So absolutely love it. That team, JR and Gracie and Tony, you all are wonderful. So yeah, Trey, you guys are great.
That's awesome, and that's definitely making a mark right there.
Yeah, for sure.
I've ever seen one.
Yeah, no, that was awesome, and you got to meet Gary, right?
Yeah, I got to spend some time with Mr. Gary Vay. He was cool. He was a really cool dude. Super humble, super present.
Oh, I'm sure.
Just extremely present despite always being on the device. If you're right in front of him, he's just totally has your attention. And then when he has his time, he's engaging in his community. He was an impressive guy.
Cool. Yeah, that's awesome. So, tell us a little bit more about your company. What made you want to start Shoot to Thrill, and how do you feel like you're really helping the community and the people that you work with?
Sure. So again, we're a web development company, and the aha moment here was us really. Well, so we weren't always tech people. right? Me and my partner Matt both studied entrepreneurship at university where we met. We weren't really close friends back then.
Yeah.
We just knew each other through the same type of classes and that stuff. We both graduated and went on to build our own companies as business people. And we both got screwed over by web developers. So
it's all time.
Yeah.
That seems to be a common trait.
Yeah. So with that being the case, we both kind of took that in our own separate ways, not knowing each other or each other's experiences at the time. And we taught ourselves how to code, and then I actually formally went to a code school after, starting the basics on learning on my own. And he's completely self-taught. We ended up meeting probably been 2.5, 3 years ago through a mutual friend who was reselling our services. And he's like, you guys should connect. Like, you have the same vision, because like most agencies, they have a minimum dollar amount for you to be able to start with them. So a lot of people around here, it's like $5,000 minimum for you to even talk to us. I think that's crazy.
Yeah.
I understand it.
Yeah.
And so I totally get why, because if you have that type of overhead and those types of teams, you have a certain number that you have to work with. Though, in terms of facilitating innovation, in terms of being able to help the little guy and really get people started with what they need, that's not necessary.
Mm-hmm.
So we both saw a model to be the long-term partner that you could work with as like an on-call web team for an extremely affordable rate. And we worked on our product a lot. We tried to figure out exactly what we would deliver, and we came down to we'd be able to build, host, manage, maintain, and edit WordPress websites starting at $99 a month. And that was a really, really big hit for us that started to really take off. So we're very grateful.
Yeah, that's just a very, juicy price right there.
Yeah, it works. It works.
And I love, for all you listeners out there, I love the subscription model, right?
Right?
Like, it's reoccurring revenue. You always know, like, where you're going to be at for the month for the most part. And then all you need to focus on is getting new clients. So I think it's the value's there, right? I mean, you just know that you're going to be making this money, and you can just keep working towards those clients. You know what you need to do each month. Your month is planned out for you, essentially.
And the thought process is, if you spend, think about how much time your time is worth. And then if you spend more time thinking about your website, trying to make the edits, figure out exactly what you're going to do, or fixing something that's broken, it probably makes more sense to hire a professional at that rate, because for the cost of a nice dinner, you have a dedicated team that'll take care of it for you. And then you can focus on building your business as a business owner. So that's been really great. We have some news that we'll be sharing probably a little bit later in the year in terms of expansion, though we're growing well and things are good.
Awesome. Quick shout out to our followers. If you're watching right now, please make sure you tell us where you're from. Say what's up. Please share it. This is great. We're going to try and get this out to as many people, bring as much value to our listeners as possible. Again, if you have any questions, you want to hear something specific, let us know. Let us know.
Hi, Niaje.
Niaje, what's up?
Hey, girl.
Amanda, how you doing? All right, so let's keep moving forward here. So, in starting this company, or maybe it was prior to starting this company, what do you think, your biggest, failure might have been to date that you really learned from, and maybe it's something you could help someone else not do?
Yeah, biggest failure in this company, totally a contract bluff that I just ruined.
Yeah.
I put out a contract that was premature, to say the least. Read your contracts thoroughly. Make them custom to the clients that you need. Make sure you get a professional. Brent Britton is one of probably the best lawyers in town. So if you're a startup person, hit him up and really just make sure that your contracts and your legal is taken care of. Because unfortunately, that failure led to the terms of a really good relationship ending.
Yeah.
And that was just super unfortunate. Totally my fault. And just one of those things, you got to take your lessons, take your bad beats, and then get better. And I tell you, I've read every word for every contract after that, so I learned my lesson. Though, I'm typically the let's just move, make it happen guy. Doesn't matter how, we'll figure it out. And so, definitely have to learn your place and take the time with things that are, very detailed that way.
Yeah, I've done it myself. Contracts are, you could be starting a business with your best friend, and I really just think it's super important that you guys write your expectations out on a piece of paper, because, at the end of the day, you start to get money involved, you guys start to grow, and things get a little weird. It gets a little rocky. So it's just good to have those standards set in place, these guidelines to keep everybody accountable. I think it's super important because I've been screwed as well.
Just got slammed.
Yeah. What about you, Koji? Any examples of that?
I mean, I could definitely fall under the contract thing, and not necessarily sending one out that was bad, but not sending one at all. And then when the services are performed, it's just the back and forth kind of thing.
No guidelines.
Yeah, so it's good to have them, and it's good to have them right. So, I can definitely bounce off of that. I mean, I had a client that needed some editing done, and I edited this video, and the expectations weren't really clear, and there was a lot of assumptions, and then at the end of the day, they weren't happy with the product because they expected like a $10,000 video, but they gave me like, GoPro footage that was like Parkinson's, some dude with Parkinson's, like it was so shaky, and it was not the best video that I've done, but it was definitely a lesson learned to make sure like, hey, let's vet this process and let's put a contract out. And ever since then, like you, I put out the contracts. I have it looked over legally, and I get it signed. And before performing any services, you just got to make sure you're covered in the end. So,
and there's some really cool tools like PandaDoc or Proposify that automates the contract process.
Yeah.
So if you're a small business owner, someone who's trying to find the right tools to help you, that pretty much automates most of it. And that's for someone like me, that's been really helpful.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. And we are live on Instagram as well. So if you're not watching on Facebook, we have our live feed going on Instagram right now. Make your mark _live. You can also view us over there. So, and then next week we're gonna try it on YouTube live and see how that goes. But if you missed the video today, you want to check out our YouTube channel. You can also check out Make Your Mark Live on YouTube as well. So there's going to be a lot of different options to hang out with us throughout the day. So.
Guys, we just hit double digits in viewers. Thank you for all that are watching, and hopefully you're getting some value out of this. Niaje, thanks for the comments.
Yeah, you're 100% right. Always have it in writing, Niaje. 100% right.
All right, so yeah, I mean, so you started this company. You have your partner. You guys are cruising. You guys are making some big strides here locally in St. Pete. What's the overall end goal? I mean, do you want to continue growing this thing? You want to kind of keep it small and tight knit? Do you have other ideas?
Yeah, no. So we'll be revealing some some of our next steps expansion wise a little bit later, this year, probably in the next 2 to 3 months. Yeah.
All right. I like that. We can have you back.
Yeah, we'll bring you back on the
show.
So
we've definitely got some things in motion. In terms of expansion, we're definitely looking at all the things that go along with growth since we're really starting to take off since our relaunch, and since we're really identifying our value prop. So in terms of the long term, I mean, both Matt and I, again, we share a very similar vision in terms of building a company that really supports and services those small businesses, those startups, and then serves as that on-call web team. And so once we have that completely ironed out, we are entrepreneurs at heart. Mm-hmm. So in an ideal world, for me, I could imagine a world to where, we're taking care of hundreds, if not thousands of, businesses, entities, and websites, while also having an internal R&D team to build and launch products and services and bring them to market. So there's a really fun world where all that kind of coexists. I mean, if you talk about me as a person, I'll eventually end up building a school, and that's going to be a ton of fun. So in terms of the company, we're growing really well, and we'll have some really sweet updates coming before the end of the year.
That's really good.
Awesome.
You guys stay tuned because I'm excited.
yeah, no, for sure. This guy's always moving, so we just want to keep on here.
So a question I have, so your goals when you first started, you and Matt, I'm sure that when you revisit after working with, a handful of clients, did those goals kind of change? Did they kind of shift? Did you see your vision a little bit different in terms of where you were going with the company?
We actually hit it. It was just spot on. Just took longer than I wanted. Mm-hmm. So that was kind of the key piece, right? You think it's going to happen in X, at least 2 to 3 times that. So I thought I'd be able to get to the customer count we're at now a year ago. And though we figured out exactly the model and how it works and really where you want it to focus. I mean, for us, retention is the game, and so delivering customer support and service that is impeccable is super important, and we've done a really great job with that. There's only 3 clients out of over 100 plus that I can think had a negative experience, and I can tell you about them personally. So it's and that just wasn't the right fit, wasn't the right hire for both of us. And it's one of those things where I could have likely set expectations better, and you learn from those.
Yeah.
Though in this world, it's a matter of identifying the value prop that you're offering, and then really focusing on fulfilling that. And it's been good. So in terms of the goals, I mean, we originally set up to say, hey, does this model work? But we were guessing. We didn't really see many people in this space 2 years ago, right? If you could say, yeah, for $100, $200 a month, we'll build you a website, no upfront cost. People are like, that's a scam. Like, that's a lie. You're not going to do that. You're just going to take my money.
Yeah.
Because people just weren't doing it. There was only one company, it was called MoPro, and you see the reviews, it's horrible service.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, at that time, you don't have any in your portfolio to show. It's just like, hey,
it was super new.
Let's dive in and let's try this together. And if it works, it works. So, it takes a lot of balls to do that. And that's entrepreneurship in a nutshell.
Well, fortunately, it's not mine nor Matt's first company. Again, we both had built separate things and had them work semi-successfully or fail miserably. I can speak at least my end. Failed miserably. And that's totally okay. And in this space, I think anybody can win if you are committed to doing the right thing, if you provide a good service, and you just respond. I mean, it's really like in this industry specifically, as long as you're responsive and you're semi-affordable, like you win.
Yeah.
So it's, building that relationship is everything.
It's the relationship and it's the value you're bringing, right?
Yeah.
I just did a Marca Minute on providing the value. Like, everybody wants to make $1 million, but if they're not providing $1 million in value, then how are they ever going to get there, right? You can't it doesn't just magically appear.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
You can think positive all you want, people, but it doesn't just magically appear.
I tell you, I'm a pretty positive thinker, and I would agree. I would agree.
Shoot. So we really want to give our listeners just something super practical that they could take away today and just be like, man, I'm gonna go implement into my business or my life. Is there anything like that you could provide that's just like, man, this is it. I'm gonna go use this.
Probably nothing that you already haven't read in a book, or just one of those basic positive help things. I mean, my whole life thing is just give. That's probably where I start with. So always give more than you receive, and that for me, I've had some pretty amazing things happen in my life. So I've won a car before. Someone paid off my student loans for me without me knowing. I've had some really significant type of things in terms of my family being taken care of in certain ways when we were down. And I don't really share much about that. Though I come from a pretty adverse upbringing to where it was relatively difficult. First one to go to college kind of thing.
Right.
And I've just been super grateful to have amazing things happen without being able to explain them. And I think I gave a TED Talk on this maybe a couple years back, and it just came back to being the first to give. And without, it doesn't mean giving money, it means giving energy, giving time, giving love, and really just helping in an intrinsic and altruistic way anytime you can. So that's my default always. In terms of something practical, write down your 3 to 5 things you must do today. Wake up early. I've been starting to wake up really early, and I'm liking it.
I didn't start doing it until I just had a baby. And I have to get up now, but man, it's I get up at 5:30. I go to the gym. I get all this stuff done. I'm ready to go and hit the day hard, as opposed to waking up at 9:30 and you feel like shit and you're behind. So.
Yep, I can agree with that.
So it's nothing too crazy. There's not some magic pill you need to take, or not a special sauce. Just do the things that all the other smart people have told you to do, and you'll do pretty fine.
Yeah. Listen to the smart people like us. We're all smart here, right?
Yep.
Right. All right. Awesome. Well, So. Let's see. So every week we're going to bring someone on. This is a weekly show. If you haven't heard yet, we're going to be on at 9 a.m. every Monday. We're going to be announcing the next guest later on the weeks, just to give you a little bit of a tease. This person is amazing. They're going to bring extreme value. So I can't wait to kind of announce who that's going to be.
Although Mark has set the bar high.
Yeah, we did. Mark was such a great first pick. I'm so glad that you're on here today.
Grateful for both of you.
Thank you.
We super excited, and because we're so excited, and because we love our guests, and just for thanking them, we want to give them something. And I actually have an option for you today, Mark. We got this fresh tea. I made my Mark Live on Make Your Mark, So we got that option, or we could do the tote here. Which one?
I'm definitely going for the shirt.
Going for the shirt.
Definitely
All
going
right.
for the shirt.
Sure. There you go, bud. Thank you so much for being on the show. That's
Oh, it looks good, man.
It's fresh.
Now you can, you can rep it around town and tell them where you got it.
Yeah, you already know.
So I want to take a little bit of time now and just open it up to you guys watching. If you have any questions about anything we might have said, or just anything else that might be top of mind, just shoot them over. We'd love to answer them. It could be for any one of us, and we'd love to, start answering some of your guys' questions. And thank you for watching, for sure. Let's see, Mark, you have any questions for me or Koji or anything while we're sitting here?
I mean,
BS?
there's a ton of questions for you guys. I mean, how do you stay so beautiful? How are you so smart? What does it take to put this kind of production together?
I think we're getting better at it. Today we were like almost ahead of schedule. We were sitting here twiddling our thumbs for a little bit because I think we figured it out last week. And to be honest, last week was my first live video ever.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
First live ever.
Check.
He's already getting better. Look at him.
Check that off the list.
He's like led the whole show today.
Yeah, it's
Check
like feeling
that off the
comfortable.
list. What else? Oh, my camera was taped to a tripod. Well, it wasn't even a tripod. It was taped to something
Like
I
it was
had
like a
in
book
my
holder.
Yeah, it's like a book holder. I got a tripod now, so that's awesome, But so we're getting there.
I mean, we got these two big soft boxes. They're throwing off a little heat, but without it, it would be dark in here. For this kind of thing, I mean, you saw us set up. It took maybe like 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's impressive.
Because we're shooting on iPhones. I mean, if we had like DSLRs up, it'd be like whole different story.
Yeah.
But it's pretty simple to get this going. We threw some wide lenses on our iPhone, so we could see all of us in the frame.
Mark, you got some questions coming in. So
Okay.
let's see here. We'll answer Nicole's first. Is giving back part of your company's ethos?
Absolutely. Actually, so with our relaunch, we just announced that for every website sold, we donate $100 to Sail Future.
Okay.
Which is a local nonprofit. If you don't know them, I get chills kind of thinking about it. They basically take children, kids, young adults who are really from the foster system or the juvenile system, and they give them a home, they give them a family, and they sail them around the world, teaching them a curriculum and helping them rehabilitate into becoming really like momentous and successful community members and community contributors. And so you meet with some of these kids, and you see that they have this re-inspired source of life, and they want to be business owners, and they want to be people who volunteer and make other people better. And you see a lot of them, because they come from that foster system, want to give back and fix it because they've identified the problem. They know that they have the experience. And so Mike Long, Hunter Thompson, Maddie, all those people are behind that organization, and I have so much love for them. They're started in Sarasota, St. Petersburg area, Tampa Bay area. And to see them where they are now and what they're doing and the impact they're making, I thought that was so significant to where kids and then adverse upbringing is super important to me. So we've committed that forever. Every website made ever will contribute $100 to Sail Future.
That's amazing.
So giving, and again, money isn't always the thing. So that's the first that comes to mind. In terms of ethos, absolutely. I mean, I spend time with people all the time. I give. The advice, the strategy, I always say it's like, if everyone should have access to the information, right? I shouldn't hold the knowledge hostage.
Right.
So if you have a question, you need any sort of help, you want to just pick my brain based on the experiences we've had, the clients we've had, I'm happy to help as long as there's not something in the way of me doing that.
Right.
If you want me to do the work, then we talk about how we can work together. So, and for real.
We had one more question here. Guys, keep the questions coming. Make sure you share this. This is great. We're getting a lot of feedback. A lot of people are joining us, so make sure you share it out to your friends and family. Let's get as many people on here as possible. Let's get some questions out here. Let's see. What was the name of your company again? We got that question.
So the name of the company is Shoot to Thrill Media, and that's actually kind of funny. So Matt is a huge Iron Man fan, like Avengers Iron Man fan, and we were, we're building the company, and he's like, you know what? He just saw the Avengers movie, and there's this really like climactic experience in that movie where all the Avengers are getting beaten up, and it looks like there's no hope left. And then out of nowhere, Iron Man comes in and saves the day, just like busts through, and they play AC/DC's Shoot to Thrill with his intro, and he's like, this is it, like, we're naming the company Shoot to Thrill Media. And I absolutely loved it. Absolutely. We get so many compliments on the name all the time. And we can kind of use it as the double.
It's fun.
You know, we always shoot to thrill.
Yeah.
And it's just a really fun time, though. You'd be surprised how many AC/DC fans are still out there.
Yeah.
And I'm one of them, by the way.
I believe it.
So,
I believe it.
Yeah.
Let's see, another question here. So this goes back to, you mentioned you wanted to start a school in the future. So what type of school would this be? And then would you start by maybe providing classes to local schools, or would you just want to start your own thing?
Yeah, so the principle is always about teaching real-life applicable skills. And so it's not necessarily Montessori, though if you're coming from that kind of background, it's the homeschool Montessori, kind of let the children, with the proper guidance and expertise, focus on the things they're passionate about. Though for me, I always thought it made sense, basically, from someone who was leaving school with debt rather than equity, I thought, wouldn't it be really cool to flip that? So what if you left your primary school education with equity instead of debt? And how can we turn, a curriculum into something that you could actually apply to business?
Okay.
And so providing people who are, successful entrepreneurs, business owners, business leaders, as well as true academics, so we have a really good balance, the opportunity to, empower children and empower, our youth to start building and taking action immediately and giving them those hard skills and soft skills to do it. So things that they could actually leave and then apply. So that's really going to be the long-term goal. Again, that's just like something personal that I'm really passionate about, having so many brothers and sisters and seeing the struggle. And then in terms of applying to local schools, that would probably work in a charter type of institution. The public market's pretty hard to get into with all of the different rules and regulations that apply, though that's totally one way to potentially start. The homeschool community is something we're already kind of participating in a very light manner. Yeah. So, and again, that's for my 40s. I'm in my 20s. So
you got 20 years.
Yeah, I got some time to build it, and I would love to talk to you about it. If you want to grab a cup of coffee or tea, you can contact me, 727-642-8961.
Dang, he's throwing the phone number out. Shit, things are getting real in here. He's ready to talk to some people.
That's how you make your mark, though.
Yeah,
you got to provide that value.
Exactly, and Mark's definitely providing the value for us today. Let's see here, what we got going on. Hey Kathleen, how you doing this morning? So how could someone contact you about building a website or getting on your subscription model?
Yeah, 100%. So if you just want to talk to me, again, my number is 727-642-8961. That's my personal cell. You can call me anytime. And that applies for anybody. So, I'm grateful that you've asked the question. I'm more than happy to answer any of your, thoughts, concerns, questions, or really just have a fun conversation. You can reach me via email if you want, mark@shoottothrillmedia.com. You can hit me on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on Instagram. However you want to talk to me, I'm happy to talk to you. And then in terms of just being able to start with the website, we've made it as easy as we can think of. And if it's not easy, I need your feedback. Though we've made it as easy as possible for you to go onto our website and sign up in that process. So if you go to shoottothrillmedia.com, all spelled out, so that's SHOOTTOTHRILLMEDIA.com. That has all of the different products, all the different services, and hopefully in a simple way you can understand how you'd be able to get started. There's a big Get Started button in the right-hand corner. If you're on mobile, it's in the hamburger menu. So you can click Learn More, and you could sign up right there, and we'd be able to get started in the next 5 minutes. So again, always happy to help have that conversation. If you're not quite ready and just want somebody to talk to, I'm here. Always happy to help.
Awesome. So there it is, the value again, guys. That's what you got to bring to the table. So, Koji, anything else from you, bud?
Yeah, I had a question. So, I was wondering. So, when did Shoot to Thrill legally start? Like, what year? What day?
August 19th, 2016.
Okay, so yeah, he's been in the game for a couple years now. That's
we're coming on 21 months.
Yeah, see, that's awesome, and to see your growth since you've started, it's kind of humbling to see that and to see where you are now. But would you say that your first round of clients, what did you learn from them?
You know what? We just had this conversation. Our first technical client just bought a new company and no longer needed service. And so it was a great exiting, and he's like, if we need you, we'll come back. That was the first time. He's like, we lost our first client technically. which this was a relationship Matt already had. So for me,
Right.
our first client's actually still with us, though he was like, this is our technical first. And I was like, that's crazy. And then at the same day, we just brought in a new client. And it was just one of those things, like, it's so funny how it's cyclical.
Right.
And we'll be able to provide the life cycle of service that you need as a business owner. And really, we just had such a great time with those people. I mean, we fulfilled the service obligations. He's like, we already have a website, being managed, being maintained. That was part of the acquisition of this company because he bought a new company. Though, love the experience with you guys, looking forward to everything you're doing. I mean, we just had a good relationship. And when I think about, people like Cheryl, who's one of our first true, we're going out pitching a service, like, didn't have a pre-existing relationship, still with us today, 2 years later. And I'm just like, this is so cool that they're still there,
Yeah.
So again, retention I mentioned earlier is everything, and that's just a matter of, you call me, I'm going to be there. It's a level of service that we're going to operate, within 48 hours, you're going to have anything you need, and you're going to have that response that's necessary. So keeping those clients has been a really fun part, and then figuring out how we can position ourselves to scale has been everything. Candidly, the last 2 months have been really inspiring, and it's been something to where once we launched a new website and really honed in on our value prop, we've been growing really, really well. And for me, it's about delivering that same service level and being able to invest in that same type of team to where customer success is at the front, so we can always provide that value, like you've said.
Nice.
Man.
And how are you
Awesome.
finding like new clients and customers? I mean, are you doing any like social media marketing or anything like that, or word of mouth? What is it?
So we have yet to invest marketing dollars, which is fantastic. We're actually, again, part of our growth that we have planned and part of those expansion plans, we've just made our first investment that'll start, probably next week in terms of, a social effort.
Okay.
And we're working with some really cool people, and they know who they are. We're very excited for you. We'll announce that stuff separately. Though, I mean, for us, it's been a lot of referral based, like most businesses. It's been a lot from our personal networks, which I'm grateful for.
Yeah, that's
And then, just being, a part of the chamber or being involved in the community and that voice to where it's, we're now a reputable team with a really good portfolio.
right.
And so, we've earned the respect and credentials to where people are starting to come from us by really our reputation.
Yeah, and let's talk about like memberships real quick, right? Like there is all these like chambers and different organizations, different networking groups you can be a part of, and from my experience, they're all valuable in their own way, but you have to utilize them to their maximum potential, right? You can't just be a chamber member and expect that stuff's magically going to come in, right? You have to go to their events and be active in the chamber and the community to provide the value back to you. So, don't just sign up for these things to sign up for them. If you sign up for them, make sure you're out there, being a part of them. Go meet the other people that are a part of the groups. Start building relationships. I mean, that's what it's all about. The more people you know, the better off you're going to be.
Yeah, it's the give first mentality. It really is, especially so there's some science behind it too. So I'm really big into the people thing and how that works. And so in terms of joining a group or being accepted into a group, it takes an average of 7 times within about a 2-month window for you to actually be embraced and accepted as one of the people a part of this organization, especially if you're new or if you're not really from around the same area. And so spending that time up front and really, again, front loading those relationships to where you're delivering the value, you're showing up, you're contributing without being asked, and you have a positive mindset. When you do that up front, you're building those relationships for the long term. And you're actually then accepted into that group to where you're now a thought from the people who are in that organization. So whenever they get the ask, they go to you.
It's even just showing up and showing your face.
Yeah.
Then they see you next time and they're like, hey, you were here last time and you're actually interested.
Right.
Like that's all it takes is really just showing up and showing your face. And then if you have conversation that's good, that's just another good strike on you. So we got time for maybe one more question?
Yeah, I think we got one more. Let's see what we got here. Oh, this is an interesting question because for me, I'm all about like you kind of take what you can get. As an entrepreneur, you're growing your business. You're like, oh yeah, let's do it. I can do anything.
Sure.
But have you ever had to turn down a client? If you did,
all the time.
Okay.
All
Tell us a little bit
yeah,
about that.
I mean, and so this was one of the lessons I learned. One of those 3 clients that didn't go so well, one of them hired the wrong client. The expectations were here, and it was one of those things to where the reason that it went wrong wasn't because we could have hit the expectations. It was a little bit more than we would have liked to do. That was fine. Yeah. The way that he treated us was unacceptable. And so I will always show up with respect, with transparency, with the desire to fix something if it goes wrong, whether it's my fault or not. I'm always going to be that, that helpful hand. And if you're not respectful and if you don't share that same value, then it doesn't work well. And then there's other people who really don't know what they want and aren't willing to listen. And so that combination is dangerous, and I won't hire you. Yeah. And so I don't care how much money you have. You can I know a bunch of other people who will take your product or take your money, and they'll outsource your work or they'll do it themselves, what have you. If you don't know what you want and you're not willing to listen, it's a lost cause in my opinion. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, making sure that we have the right mindset, we share the same values, that's super important for us, especially as we grow long term. And so we have those conversations with clients once they sign on or even before in that pre-qualifying process. So we have had to turn down some clients. And just set proper expectations. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Typically, it's a communication thing. Yeah. How we've been able to grow so well is because we focus on the communication side of it. If we set the right expectations, then everyone's happy and we deliver an awesome service. Mm-hmm. Right. If we don't take the time to set those expectations, everything's lost. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and certainly since your services are retention based, retainer based. Your first client you had for 2 years. You kind of want to vet your new coming clients to people that you would want to work with for years.
Yeah, we luckily get to work with people like that. That's the coolest part about this job, I think, is that we get to help so many people who are just starting.
You get to grow with them.
Dude, and that's what I call it. It's called pay as you grow.
He's fired up right now.
Yeah, it's just the coolest thing to take a business, and we've literally had people. I think of Ryan Galens, who's someone I've helped for a long time, and he literally just sent in a video that we're going to be using. It was when we met, since then, because of the help that we've been able to provide, his business has literally doubled. That's awesome. And it's just such a wonderful thing to be able to provide and help with. And to see these people start and then where they go with just the right push, the right mindset, and a little bit of direction. Yeah. And then, obviously, a website if they need it. And so it's funny because people think we're web developers, though really we're entrepreneurs who happen to be web developers. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We happen to build websites, though really I'm going to help you grow your business, build your business, and I'm an ear to listen to when you run into a problem. And that's kind of the side of it that, again, as we talk about expansion, that's one of the fun areas that fun directions that we're heading.
Awesome. Well, guys, I think that's going to wrap it up for us today. We really thank everybody that joined us live. If you haven't seen this yet and you're going to see it later, thank you for watching later. Feel free to go ahead and answer or comment any questions. We can, reply to them as we get them in later through the day as the day's going. I think Mark will probably share this out to his page, so any of his followers can you get this as well.
You got all of his information. Just rewind maybe 10 minutes. You got his phone number and everything. So if you need to reach out to Mark, please feel free. We'll also drop his line in the comments as well. So yeah, thank you guys. It was a fun first show. Thank you. First show. You. That's awesome, dude.
Group hug. And again, this is Make Your Mark Live, Monday mornings, 9 a.m. We'll talk about the next guests later on this week.
Yeah, stay tuned for the next guest that we'll drop this week. So thank you guys.
See ya.
Now it's behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes.